Before we get into the rules, regulations, and how to actually play golf, I'm going to give you a little history lesson of the sport. The earliest form of golf traces back to 100 BC. The Romans would play a game called pagnica where they would use a bent stick to hit a wool or feather stuffed leather ball. However, the game of golf that we know today is credited to Scotland. In the 15th century, Scottish men were playing golf in its simplest form, which involved taking a club, swinging it at a ball to get it from a starting point to a finishing point with the least amount of swings. The Scots used the term golf, spelled Gowf, until 1457 when King James II banned the sport using the spelling Golf in documentation. King James banned the practice of golf because it was interfering with archery practice, which was necessary for national defense at the time. It wasn't until 1500 that the ban of golf was lifted. After the lift, kings began to join in on play of the sport, and in 1744, the first known set of rules for golf were written by Edinburgh golfers. The set of rules they wrote is the game of golf that we all know today. The Society of St. Andrews Golfers was established in 1754. The society was put together to annually compete using the rules written by the Edinburgh golfers. In 1764, the course at St. Andrews was reduced from 22 holes to 18, and soon after, 18 holes became the format used around the world. The gutta percha ball was introduced in 1848, and by the 1890s, persimmon was a very popular wood used for making club heads. Steel shafted clubs weren't accepted until 1929, and stainless steel woods weren't introduced until 1980s. Today, materials like graphite, titanium, carbon fiber, and tungsten are used for golf clubs. The United States Golf Association, known as the USGA, was formed in New York in 1894. The USGA's main purpose was to serve as the authority for questions regarding amateur status. The first U.S. Open was played at Newport Country Club in Rhode Island, and for the first time, golf was played at the Paris Olympics in 1900 and subsequently at the 1904 Olympics in St. Louis. Both were won by the USA, but golf has not been played in the Olympics since. In 1904, the Professional Golfers Association, known as the PGA, was formed in the UK, and the PGA of America was formed in 1916, and the first U.S. PGA Championship was played in New York. 1934 is when the first Masters tournament was played at Augusta National, where the winner is awarded the famous green jacket. The Ladies Professional Golfers Association, known as the LPGA, was formed in the U.S. in 1950. In 2009, the International Olympic Committee voted in favor of golf returning to the Olympics. So in 2016, golf will be played at the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro for the first time in 112 years. Now that we got the history lesson out of the way, Kirsty is going to tell you the rules, regulations, and some of the terminology you should know in order to play golf.
A few things you need to know about playing golf before you can ever pick up a club would be a few rules and regulations and also a few golf terms. The first thing you need to know about golf terms is how they characterize points. Everything is kind of compared to what they call a par. And a par is the number of strokes that's recommended to take to complete a hole. A birdie is a score under one par, so a score of 3 on a par 4. A bogey is a score of 1 over par, so it would be a score of a 5 on a par 4. A double bogey is a score 2 over par for one hole. This is not very good and you want to try and avoid this. An eagle is not only a bird in real life, but in golf it means a score of 2 under par. So it would be a score of 3 on a par 5. They use the term ace as a way to describe a hole-in-one, or it's commonly called hole-in-one, and that just means from the tee box to the green to the hole on the green, you only take one shot, so it's a hole-in-one, simply. And a deuce is what you call a hole-in-two, so you take 2 swings and make it into the hole on the green on your second swing. Your approach shot would be the shot that you take in order to get to the green from the tee box. It's kind of like a tee shot. A ball marker would be a token or a small coin, and it's placed directly behind the ball in order to mark the position of the ball on the green. We usually do this just to allow other people to go and not hit your ball. A caddy is a person who carries the player's clubs during the round of golf. He also can offer assistance and advice and support with clubs. A 4 is spelled F-O-R-E, and it's kind of a warning shot to alert other golfers that a ball is headed in their direction. A green is used to describe the putting surface on the golf course. This is where the hole is located, and this is what you're aiming for the entire game of golf. The fairway is an area on the golf course that lies directly between the tee box and the green. It's cut really short and it's maintained really well. You usually want to hit from this area of the course if at all possible. The rough is the long grass next to the fairway. Normally you try to avoid this. It's harder to hit out of. The ball will not do as well. A bunker, also a sand trap, is just pits of sand located around the green in order to create an obstacle. A few general rules you'll need to know about playing golf would be showing consideration to other players and respecting the course, play at a good pace, and be ready to invite faster moving groups to play through. You take care of the course by smoothing out bunkers and replacing divots. You do not play any practice shots during a play of the hole. So if somebody else is playing and taking a shot, you sit, be quiet, and you don't make any noise or cause any commotions because it can be distracting. Some courses will not allow you to use any artificial devices or equipment unless it's authorized by the local rule. You're supposed to play the ball exactly how it lies. You can't pick it up and set it in the other place. You can move items around it, such as sticks and leaves, but as far as moving your ball, you are not allowed to do anything. If your ball is in a bunker or a water hazard, don't touch the ground or the water with your hand club before you're downstream. If you play the wrong ball in a match, you would lose. In stroke play, you incur a 2-stroke penalty. You must correct the mistake by playing the correct ball. On the putting green, you can mark, lift, clean your ball, always replace it in the exact same spot, and repair ball marks and old hole plugs. So if there's a hole in the ground from the previous ball, you're allowed to correct that hole and fix it, and then play your ball. This is basically the gist of everything you need to know before you get into playing the game. Of course, there is an entire book of rules that you could go through, an entire book of terminology, but just for the basics, this will get you started. Next up, we will go into how the ball laws, ball physics, and how the ball actually gets from point A to point B.
Ball flight laws. What makes the ball go straight or curve to the left or to the right? There's two main variables. You have your swing path, which here is represented with the red line, and you have your club face direction, which is represented with the blue dotted line. Anytime you have more differential between the two, the more spin that you're going to put on the ball. So in order to hit a straight shot, you need to get those two lined up. Here, the black line is representing the club face. Club face is square to the target line, which is the green line, which is where the ball is and where you want it to end up, what line that is. So in order to hit a straight shot, your swing path and your club face direction have to be lined up and you hit it straight every time. With that same club face angle, if you just change your swing path from in to out, you're going to hit a hook. If you go from out to in, you're going to hit a slice, which will look like that. Now you can hit 3 different straight shots. You can hit one straight to the target line. You can hit a push, which now the club face direction is to the right, and your swing path is to the right. Those line up, it's going to go straight right. As soon as you swing here, your swing path is more into out, and now there's a differential between your club face direction and your swing path. Now you're going to hit a push, draw. On this lower one, you're aimed to the right, but your swing path is from out to in. The ball will start right and keep going right. You can also have a pull, which is a straight shot. Your club face direction and your swing path line up, and you hit a straight pull, which will be to the left of your target line. You can also have a pull draw, which your swing path is more into out to the club face direction. So you're going to pull the ball, and it'll keep going left. Here you can also have a pull slice, which now you have an out to in swing path to the direction of the club face, which start left and come back to the right. And these are the ball flight lofts.
In order to play golf, the first items you will need are the golf clubs. You need at least a driver and a putter. You also need a golf ball and a tee. It is important to use the clubs suited for you, meaning right-handed golfers use clubs geared for the right hand, and left-handed golfers using clubs geared for the left hand. Now my husband Eric is going to give me a hand in demonstrating how to hit the ball. First you want to put the pointed part of the tee into the ground and place the golf ball on top of the tee. The club being used is a driver. You want to stand sideways with legs spread apart and knees bent, firmly holding onto the club. Keep your rear arm slightly bent while keeping the front arm as straight as possible as you pull the driver back and swing, rotating only your hips and legs while keeping your back straight. If done properly, the ball should be hit like so. First, I want to thank you for your time and attention. I hope this gives you a better understanding on how to play golf. Now get out there and try it.